You bet not. Buddy, that is a garbage disposal. That carrot is goodbye, gone. Like, eat, like, why would you? Yo, welcome back to another video. Today is Friday, once again. So you already know what today means. It means, yes, Fright Night Friday. I gotta work on my evil laugh, y'all. But last week, if you were there to watch it, or if you've watched it in the time that it's dropped since last Friday, you would have known, or you would know, that I had the privilege and the honor of being able to react to some social house films. Their films are always amazing, always wonderful. So I was greatly appreciative to the fact that we were able to do that, and I was glad that I was able to get those things for you guys, for you all to be able to see and react to as well. So I hope that you enjoyed that video for that week, because that one was my favorite Fright Night Fridays video to make thus far. That was episode 6. We're on episode 7 today, and today I wanted to do a mixture of some of the areas that or some of the channels we've already watched. I am our Scary Tales, obviously. Wanted to do a couple more social house films for you guys. We finally got some submissions, thanks to Mr. Zahn. Appreciate you for that. But remember, you guys can submit any horror submissions that you would like, whether that's short horror films, whether that's like a short clip of some horror stuff, whatever horror related. It can even be longer ones. Thank you once again to Mr. Zahn for throwing in some submissions. I have put out some emails to get see if I can get clearance to react to them. So I'm still waiting on that. So until we get the email back for those, I have some other videos that we're going to be doing. But yes, welcome back to another Fright Night Fridays. Are y'all liking the series? Y'all enjoying it? It seems like you do. Like, y'all always are very interactive, engaging on this channel. They always get great amounts of views, so I greatly appreciate that, and I love that I'm able to bring a different type of content for you guys outside of just the horror gaming and the other gaming stuff that we do. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into that. You already know what to do. If you're liking the video, spam that like button, smash that sub button so you can become a part of the community. Hit that bell notification off the side so you can get whenever I go live and post another video. As always, if there's any content you would like to see created on the channel, drop that in the comment section below, or send it to my email, which is in the about section, my YouTube channel. And without further ado, let's jump right into these videos for today.
I had acute insomnia. The feeling of being awake when the whole world is asleep is terrible in one word. So to cope with that, I took a job at this mental institution as a night guard. They offered the job, and I accepted straight away. Filled in a couple of forms, and that was that. It seemed perfect. If I was going to be awake anyway, I might as well get paid for it. It wasn't difficult. My duties consisted mainly of walking through the softly carpeted halls every hour or
Look at his eyes.
checking that the security doors were locked, and helping myself to as many free cups of coffee as I could. There were always 2 nurses on call in case of a medical emergency, but they mostly slept through their shifts, so I barely saw them. My contact with the patients was limited. There seemed to be perhaps 15 or 20 of them, with some there for extended periods and others coming and going on almost a daily basis. I only ever saw them when they were asleep. It was strange seeing them like that, robbed of all content.
Asylum, but
they could have been bankers or beggars, for all I knew. In the staff room, watching over the half-drunk leftovers of other people's coffee and dog-eared magazines, was a bank of CCTV monitors wired up to the patients' rooms so that the staff could keep an eye on them whenever they needed to. I spent most of my time there when I wasn't patrolling the corridors. It was oddly relaxing to watch all these strangers sleeping peacefully in their beds throughout the night, stirring gently every so often as they dreamed their unknown dreams. It gave me comfort to watch them all lying there, dead to the world, with me as their silent custodian. Among these patients, 2 to 3 suffered from somnambulism, that is sleepwalking. Well, the doctors let them be on their own until they come out to be an immediate threat. Honestly, unlike other mental institutions, the patients here were too old to show violent traits, Also, the windows were bolted and made of toughened glass, and all exterior doors were kept securely locked.
They look like
I used to come across them in the halls and corridors.
Oh my God, look at
sickly patients whispering.
You sure this is still an operational insane asylum?
One night,
like I get it's an insane asylum, but it's not. It's like
the sounds
an abandoned
patients. When I came across one of the usual sleepwalkers,
that's a ghost.
An old woman, swollen and red-faced, wearing blue pajamas and an odd pink dressing gown that flapped open as she walked. She seemed entirely unaware of the world around her. As I approached, she stopped facing her back at me while standing near the pale white wall. She was as motionless as a statue, with her face only millimeters away from the damped wall. Suddenly, she spoke as I tried to walk past. "You are gonna do a terrible thing." I stopped myself and gazed confusedly at her thin gray hair dangling in the air slowly.
I'm gonna do something.
"I'm sorry," she said again. "You are going to do a terrible thing." In that same 1,000-year-old voice.
That's where my mind
goes to me?
When I see people.
There's
like
no
that.
one else here.
That was true,
Like you can't
but
rush.
usually the sleepwalkers are too wrapped up in their own nocturnal fixations to register other people, let alone speak directly to them. This was something of a novelty. My curiosity was piqued. "What do you mean?"
You are going to do a terrible, terrible thing.
What's the thing?
And there will be no one to blame but yourself.
Look at her around
"You should
her
probably
mouth.
go back to bed." The woman chuckled very creepily, and I felt my heart skipping 3 times
She ain't
faster.
even looking at you.
What do you think you're doing
Maybe
here?
she talking to herself.
She asked without turning her face at me. I couldn't help but laugh while saying, "I work here, looking after you guys."
You really think you can just walk into a job like that?
Look at
off
her
the
mouth,
street
bro.
In a medical facility of all
I wish they would
places?
stop zooming in on it.
There was no way she could have known about that. She went on saying,
Is it very plausible? Is it? In fact, when you think about it, nothing about this place really adds up.
I like that
really haven't
the
thought this
narrator's
through.
changing.
I just
the
stood there
octaves of
staring
his voice
with the wonder and a sense of
to make it
discomfort
sound
rising
more,
in my chest.
woman-like.
Maybe I was hallucinating again.
Because usually, like the
I
one
have to
video
go.
we had was
I
just
mumbled,
a straight
unsure
dude
of what else
talking
to
about
do.
they were a girl. They
My
didn't even
palms were
try.
filled with sweat. I walked down the corridor,
I like the try.
breathing an inward sigh of relief, turning back to this weird woman. Her downright confrontational behavior made me question, was she even sleepwalking in the first place? I went to the staff room with a cloudy mind. I was surprised to see one of the nurses at the table, a fresh cup of mud-brown coffee steaming in front of her. She too sat facing her back to me. "The patients are lively tonight," I said.
You can't hide from things forever.
It was the exact same voice I heard a few moments back from that patient's mouth.
Sooner or
Got a
later,
spirit that's
you'll
jumping
have
from
to face reality.
person to person.
And the longer you leave it, the worse it will be.
I just can't get over how
It felt as though
terrible
an
this
electric
asylum-
shock had
that same
rattled through my
asylum looks.
body. I ran
It's
around the
crazy to
table
me.
to see her face, but when
When I
I
mean
did,
terrible, I just
I
mean
found that her eyes were
condition.
closed
Oh my
and she wore a
gosh.
sanguine expression.
Look at
of
her
someone
mouth.
lost in a
Look at
deep
her
and dreaming
skin.
sleep.
Jesus Christ.
There was a very disturbing grin residing on
Like
her
a
meditating
snake off
face.
the mall.
Small bubbles were forming at the corner of her lips. Just then, the bank
That's
of TV
one
screens
thing
on the
that
wall
just
behind
really,
me
like,
fizzed and crackled,
gets me
lighting up
when
the cramped
that
little
white
room
stuff
with a brief
start
flare
forming around
like a
people's
flash
mouth.
of lightning from
Like
behind
if
a
it's just
dark
there or if
cloud.
it starts getting there when
I
they
turned
talking,
to
it's
face
just,
her
I can't
and saw
do it.
blood
I'm
dripping
sorry.
down from those CCTV
If that's
screens.
you, I'm sorry. I can't do it.
But one by one, a picture flickered into life on each of the monitors, each showing a different scene in grainy black and white. It took me a moment to resolve the overexposed images into recognizable shapes and figures. On each screen, the camera showed a human figure standing in the hallway while jerking his head and entire body in a possessed manner. All at once, every screen exploded, creating a huge collision. In the chaos of motion,
my
I could
goodness.
see all the patients standing right in front of me with wide-eyed and
Yikes.
panic-stricken faces. Their mouths were stretched open in silent screams. It took me some time to notice inside their mouth, all of their tongues were cut off.
Whoa.
There they stood like statues. I screamed, saying, "What the hell? Why are you doing this to me?" None of them replied. Suddenly, that woman whom I met in the hallway came out from the dark corner and stood in front of my face. For the first time, I saw her.
Oh,
And in
man.
that very second, I recognized her. She has been my first victim. She was the first person enlisted in my list as I set out to be the nocturnal creature, killing poor people
to cope with my insomniac maniac mind.
What kind of plot twist was that?
You're dead.
What? Hold
this
up.
Place?
Hold
I don't
up.
want to be here.
Hold up. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Buddy said he was a serial killer for poor people? Huh? What? Where did this come from? Like, this is just beyond me. Like, I don't know where that came from. They didn't drop any hints for that. Nothing. Okay. All right.
But you were dead.
Go back.
Mind. But
that is crazy.
But you were dead. What is this place? I don't want to be here. Slowly, I started recognizing each one of these patients. They were all my victims once. Murdering them in the most brutal way possible landed me up in this mental institution. I would have gone to lifetime imprisonment or hanged till death, but I forced my lawyer to set up my case in a more cunning way. I told him to present me as a mentally sick person in front of the court. I thought it would be easy to spend time in an asylum than going to prison. But now, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm sick and tired of being scared in my sleep. I wake up every morning drenched in sweat inside this small room, bolted up with the toughest metal bars. I haven't seen the world outside for days. Now I wish if I have just died with capital punishment.
You couldn't take a couple days?
I screamed.
You couldn't take a couple days of this? That's crazy. He immediately
Same
folded.
as last night.
Folded immediately.
Grasped them with all my strength.
Days.
Please.
What?
Kill me. I don't want to be here anymore. Just kill me and set me free from this place. I heard two guards standing near my cell and saying, "Again? This patient is getting annoying day by day." The other guard replied, "Well, this is what happened when you're locked up in a freak house with the realization of murdering 12 people without mercy. This sucker deserves this." No matter how much I screamed or pleaded, no one came to help me. I screamed and eventually tired myself out. The entire day went by, and when the guard passed in the food tray after leaving for the night, I realized the impending doom is coming back again.
My favorite
Soon,
narrator
I'll pass out and join my night guard job in this freak house. It's hard to imagine ever leaving. I try to stay awake, but I never succeed. Even though I know some terrible nightmares are awaiting me.
I just can't believe that plot twist.
Sleep.
Like, I just felt like they threw that plot twist at you just because like, there was literally nothing leading. You almost got me. There was literally nothing leading up to. There was literally nothing leading up to that, like, at all. What hints did we get? What information did we receive that would have prepared me for that? Like, that was crazy. Like, that's a plot twist. Is the best way I can explain it. They just like, here, have this, like, this way from the left field. That was crazy. But still, I thought the story was okay. But this, just because of the fact that plot twist came out of nowhere is what's really throwing me off. You get in you work in there, like, cause he got like a little sleeping disorder. I forget exactly what it was. When I think they said it was him not being able to sleep when everyone else is awake or something like that. I think that's what they said it was. So he got a job at an insane asylum, right? Because insane asylums are open overnight and stuff like that, and be up and blah blah blah, right? So okay, cool, right? And then I'm thinking the story's gonna be in there. You like start running into crazy people, like as you would in an asylum, because that's what an insane asylum holds. It holds people who suffer from a lot of different varying disorders and things like that. And a lot of people in there would be crazy. Air quotations on that, because if you have a disorder, you're not necessarily crazy. But that's the best way I can explain it, for lack of better terms, or lack of better words. But that's it just completely went left. Like, I'm thinking we on a path of he's about to run into some crazy people. That people start messing with him, haunting him, or like a ghost or whatever. And no, he's in an insane asylum of people that he attempted to kill. Like, what? Huh? So that's the only thing that's throwing me off. Like, if the story stayed on course of what I thought was going to happen, then it would have been a better story. But that just threw me so completely off that it's just like, it still was good. Animation was really good. I love that was one of the better animations of that we've seen, I think, in my opinion. But they always usually have some good animations on IMR Scary Tales. But yes, y'all let me know what y'all think. Were y'all confused? Or am I the only one? Was I missing stuff? Like, was I not paying attention as much as I should have? I don't think so. But y'all let me know what y'all thought of this video as we move to the next one.
I used to be very stupid and reckless in my high school days. Just to get an adrenaline rush, I didn't hesitate to risk my life. I enjoyed the opportunity and attention of girls for being crazy.
That's crazy.
Too desperate. But
like,
too much of
I
anything
understand
never
attention seeking, but boy,
that's exactly what happened to me one night. And since
the
then,
most extreme
I've
way.
stopped being the risk taker.
Risking your life?
I grew up in a small neighborhood in the countryside.
Daredevil?
My eyes witnessed green paddy fields and big bushy trees in my growing years more than any other kids of today's time. At some distance from our neighborhood stood a rusty abandoned building. Many people approached the mayor to demolish that site and build something useful, but whenever workers started working, things ended up in horrifying accidents. First, a worker was found dead hanging outside the asylum. His eyes were bulging out from his sockets. The fearful expression on his face was enough to understand that he surely had seen something extremely scary before death. The strangest part was, no one could find the reason behind his suicide. His co-worker said he was absolutely fine when he came for the night shift. A group of 5 workers went inside to take a look at the leaking pipelines when this man got lost somehow. They called out for him and eventually thought he left for home. But when the next day he didn't arrive, they again searched the entire building and found him hanging from the ceiling inside a room. No one has the slightest idea what went wrong with him that night. Many people reported hearing screams and whispers from that asylum after dark, even though it has been long abandoned. We grew up hearing about this haunted asylum,
I'm liking the
and people
music.
in our town
And we got our
that place
favorite
like a plague
voice
after
actor once
sunset.
again. Love it.
One day, I was coming home from school with my best friend Sam and my then girlfriend Amanda. Sam started talking about that abandoned asylum. He and Amanda went on rambling about how that place is actually haunted. I told them with a mocking tone, "How old are you guys? 6?" And then laughed at them for believing in these bullshit theories. "What do you mean? All those deaths, the people who saw things there, isn't it enough proof for you?" Sam said. The people who died there died all by accident or suicide. There's no proof any ghost killed them, and talking about seeing things, there's a word named hallucination. Amanda said in a surprised tone, "You are so wrong. My dad even heard laughter coming from that building one night." I didn't say her dad can hallucinate too, because that would have started a fight, and I really liked her, so I only smiled. But she realized my irony, and they both started nagging me with their stupid theories. Being the overconfident fool I was, I told them we should all go there and see for ourselves tonight. "Are you out of your mind? My mom would kill me if she knew I went there at night," Sam said in a panicked voice.
I love
I
how
laughed
he be
harder
changing
this time
his voice.
and kind of
He the
insulted
only
him for being
narrator
such
that
a
really be
coward.
changing his voice.
One
and I
thing led
love
to
that.
another, and we ended up
Get this
taking
man
the
some
challenge
money.
to spend the
If
night
you ain't
there.
paying him the most,
Amanda
that you
warned
can.
us not to be so
Pay him
desperate,
more.
but Sam and I were ahead of rational senses. We decided to meet in front of the asylum around midnight. Obviously, I had to sneak out after my parents slept, and so did Sam. When I reached the location, I could see Sam already waiting there for me.
The mama
He
had
seemed
red
too
hair.
pumped up to prove
He
me
got red
wrong
hair
tonight.
too.
I smiled at him, but he didn't smile back at all. The sound of crickets and frogs singing chorus at the same time created a perfect environment for ghosts to appear. I lit up my flashlight and we started to walk towards the entrance.
Complex
The
building.
place was older than my dead
we're
grandpa.
nowhere near a body of
I have
water.
heard various disturbing incidents used to take place inside this asylum during its active years. Some say a group of mad doctors performed various experiments on mentally deranged patients, which led to many deaths. But they framed the deaths in such a manner that most of them
That
got
looked like
ruled out
that
as
one
accidents. Some stories went like
science.
a little girl named Lily was
medical
born in
practice
the asylum
back in the
and
day,
later
back
died
when
drowning in the
they
bathtub.
used to take a
man
tool
named Jesse
and jab it, rub
intentionally
your
grabbed
eye
a
into your
disconnected
skull, to poke
electric
a
wire,
hole in it
burnt
to
to death
let out
with high
evil.
voltage
That's
electric
what
shocks.
that looked like.
deaths of Civil War soldiers and a patient
Could
who
you
was
imagine?
brutally murdered by his roommate were
Could you
also a part
imagine?
of the
'Cause
history
that
of this asylum
led to death,
before it got
a lot of
abandoned.
it. That's
The building was
crazy.
so
Could you
vast
imagine?
that it was easy to end up alone despite having company.
Wow.
It was also easy to feel lost amid the maze of hallways
far
and
we've
patient
come.
rooms covered in peeling paint. There was broken glass all around the floor. Most of the patients' rooms were tattered and messed up with bat excrement and broken pieces of furniture. The beds that once had shackles and leg guards attached to hold down a violent patient was now lying there under thick layers of dirt with reeking bed sheets,
Yikes.
dirtier than a dumpster. "What a mess," I exclaimed in disgust while treading down the long corridor. Sam wasn't saying a word. He was walking quietly,
Bloody eyes,
and his eyes
bloodshot.
were moving here and there,
Woo.
looking for something.
Buddy is
I knew he was scared
terrified.
and maybe regretting challenging me. So to ease up the situation, I said, "I have 2 cans
blood
of beer.
marks on that?
Want one?" Without replying to my question, he suddenly stopped and said, "Can you smell that?" "Smell what?" "The smell of burnt flesh, mixed with years-old clogged water and dried blood." "What? What the hell is wrong with you, man?
That is a
Can't
very
you smell it? It's coming from upstairs."
potent smell.
I was
Ugh.
sure Sam is trying to pull a prank by saying all this gibberish, but I wasn't some easy scare. I said in a firm voice, "Fine, let's go and check upstairs. Also, you don't need the beers anymore. I think you're already drunk." Normally, Sam would often reply back if someone mocked him, but this time, he didn't. I was stunned by his weird behavior. At some point, I felt I don't even know my best friend anymore. We started to walk upstairs.
Okay, encounter? What?
I was in the front, and Sam was coming behind me.
This man
The
eyes,
upper
though.
floor was no different from the below one. The same long corridor with dozens of dingy rooms spread out on both sides. Cobwebs were
Catch
hanging
me
all over the walls.
within a 6-mile
As
radius.
I pointed
of
my flashlight ahead, a
abandoned
huge bat
insane
flew over
asylum.
our head. I ducked out of reflex. I expected Sam to make fun of me, but again, he didn't. He kept walking while sniffing
Buddy
the air in a
possessed.
very weird manner. He then stopped near a door and said, "Okay, now I know where it's coming from." "You know what?" "The smell I told you about. This is that bathroom where Lily was
Better
drowned
get up
after
out of
being
there.
molested. But she got her revenge anyway. The doctor who took advantage of her was also found in that same bathtub the next day." "How do you know all this shit? Is it all true, or are you just trying to scare me?" "Why would I try to scare you?" Saying this, he twisted the doorknob, and to my surprise, I actually saw what it was. A big washroom with a huge worn-out bathtub residing at the end. The smell of years-old muddy water pierced my nostrils, and I realized what smell Sam was mentioning all this time. The only thing that shocked me was how come he smelled the dirty water from downstairs. I was going to ask him that when I noticed something hanging at the edge of that bathtub. To take a clear view, I flashed my light onto it, and my skin crawled in immediate fear. I could see a hand bulging out of that bathtub. The hand was bloated and lifeless. Whoever was lying in it had been dead for quite a long time. What the f***? Whose hand had that been? Is this your prank? I turned back to hurl at Sam and found myself standing in that abandoned asylum all alone. Where did he go? When did he leave? I couldn't even hear a single footstep walking down these stairs. I called out his name out loud, but no response came. Out of panic and fear, I walked to the bathtub and flashed my light on the murky, black water once again. I was right.
Whoa!
This is indeed a dead body. And this person is no stranger to me.
Wow.
It was my best
So
friend.
who was he looking
Sam.
at? A ghost?
His eyes were wide open with an unknown fear. He might have seen something horrible before taking his last breath. His face and body were blowing up, being drenched in that water. I rushed home in a panic and woke up my dad. I told him everything and was going to call the cops, but he stopped me. Yes, my father made me sit on this matter, as the entire blame could be on me. Now you know why I am not brave anymore. I am the weakling friend who sat on his friend's unnatural death to avoid strict interrogation. Sam's body was found by the cops 3 days later after searching the entire town. Amanda knows I couldn't meet him that night due to my parents' pressure. Everyone knows Sam went to the asylum and died like every other person there.
Wow.
I am sure he planned to show me how brave he was by going there before me, and that's what made him never come back.
But what killed him, though?
It still scares me to sleep when I think.
Same thing ain't kill him?
I was there all the time with Sam's spirit, while he was floating dead in the tub upstairs.
Wow. That one was better than the first animated horror one we had seen. Yeah, I like that one. That one, nice story. I'm just trying to figure out what in that insane asylum killed Sam that didn't kill our main character. Like, that's would really be crazy to me. It's the people who really be believing in the stuff, and the people that's the most cautious are typically in these type of situations the ones that die, while the people who poking fun, who don't believe it, who like nonchalant about it, be like surviving. How? Like, if I'm a spirit, I'm an evil spirit, right? And someone runs up on me, right? They in my place, right? I'm going to go after the people who don't believe in me, the people who making fun of me, the people who act as if this is a game. I'm going after you. I'm not going to go after the people who really believe in me and terrified, right? That ain't no fun, right? I'm trying to turn the people that don't believe into believers, right? That's what I would do. That's just me. That's just me, right? That's the type of spirit I would be. A vengeful. But yeah, aside of that, the story was good. Liked the story, build up of it. The ending too, of him sitting on not telling it. It's a good thing the cops still found, but that's crazy. Like, you ain't got nothing to hide, right? You know it wasn't you, right? So I mean, that's your best friend, or was your best friend. So I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. But yeah, I like that one a lot. Tell me what you guys thought about that one as we move to the next video. All right, our next video is from Social House Films. It's called Diet. Let's jump right in. And I'm crazy how this video start with that jump scare, like crazy. The camera work is always crazy. Look, like sounds, right, of cutting the carrot. Bro, do you care about where you cutting? Like, how could you make something like this intense? But he about to cut his finger. Don't tell me to care about to take his life. You bet not. Buddy, that is a garbage disposal. That carrot is goodbye, gone. Like, eat, like, why would you? That's your that just look at his hand.
Oh hell no!
Oh, so rinsing it off is what's going to help you. Really?
If I could jump in time, I could buy some hay.
This man is off a pill. And he has what are we doing with these carrots? Why are they in the bathroom on the floor while you take a shower?
I was praying for you, for me, and for everybody.
I'm not understanding. What is this guy's deal? The man he's taking the carrots on a trip with him. What are we doing? What are we doing? Man.
And I think eating carrots is a great way to lose weight. Like, I lose about like 10 pounds every month or so.
Gavin brackets.
Yeah, so I've lost about 100 pounds over the past like 10 months. I mean, sometimes you feel a little bit like woozy because, you probably
because you ain't eating nothing other than carrots.
Something. But you just have to trust the process. That's part of the process. So,
This man got the carrots in a strainer, and they go everywhere he goes. This is crazy to me. I still am tripping over the fact that he took the carrot out of the garbage disposal, the place you literally toss a lot of waste into and dispose of. And you literally, he pulled his hand out and had like dirt gunk on it. Like, yeah, that's smart. Lock it though. Don't just close it. You gotta lock it too. Hear a sound, you do that. That's how we operate. You hear a sound, go. If you investigating, you better close it up, seal it off, say a prayer or two. 10:08. Now we choking. Get up and get some water. What are you doing? This man. That just gave me a chill. What the entire... What? Okay. That one was a weird one. That in the ending still got me, like coming out of them hands and then seeing the face, that did give me chills. Prior to that, it's just what the thing for me was the taking the carrots on a journey with him. He pulled this one carrot out of the garbage disposal, which was one of the nastiest things I've seen. Like, that's just so disgusting. And then you take them on a journey with you. Got them on the floor in the bathroom in the shower, which is disgusting. You take them in your bedroom. You're eating them out of a strainer. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, that's just was crazy to me. But as always, the music, like, you guys still had the music there, really good, as always. And then the camera work is always wonderful. Like, cutting the carrots, I'm thinking about to cut his finger with the intensity of the music that was being played, plus zooming in on it and showing like him cutting it closer to his fingers. And that didn't happen. So playing with that type of stuff, like, you guys really do a really good job. So it was overall decent. It's of the ones that I've seen so far, that one was my least favorite, but still was good as far as what you guys were able to do with it. Like I said, still gave me chills at the end there with that hands coming out the closet and then seeing the creature that was, whatever that was. Yes, let's move on to our next one.
I used to work as a cleaning guy in an asylum.
Got another.
The asylum was
with
said
our
to
favorite
hold some of the extremely violent patients around the state. The patients were kept in a different wing. Right next to the main building, there was an underground facility that was always under high alert security. Not many people were allowed there. No visitors ever stepped in, and it was evident the patients who stayed there were completely cut off by their friends and family. That wing was assigned to our senior staff, Jonathan, who has been working there from the beginning years. He used to share many creepy incidents that he experienced in that wing. So in my mind, I always had this idea that the Red Alert wing is a hellhole of screaming lunatics threatening to take your life. One day during working hours, we heard an ambulance coming towards the asylum building. We all went outside and saw two security guards carrying Jonathan on their shoulders.
Video before.
The paramedics took him to the hospital, and we came to know he had a stroke while working in the Red Alert area. Even though there was no sign of injury on his body, I could sense something was unnatural about his sudden stroke. I asked one of the security, "How did it happen?" He shrugged his shoulders with a confused face and said, "Well,
He was cleaning near cell 9 when we heard a ruckus. We rushed there and he was lying unconscious on the floor, and some patients were laughing like maniacs seeing this poor man die. This place is filled with freaks, crazy Sikh people. I could see the disgust on his face. Honestly, we all knew that the patients here were not in their sensible state of mind, but still, the cruelty and inhuman behavior did scare each one of us to go near them, even in daylight. A spot opened to work in the Red Alert facility, but none of the cleaning staff agreed to go there. The manager doubled the pay, and I couldn't stop myself from grabbing the deal. I needed money more than anyone else at that point.
Always them type of situations.
So I said, I will do it. While handing me the charts of the cells, he said with a serious voice, "Whatever happens, always stay away from the bars of these cells. You'll find details of patients on the chart, so act accordingly after studying their profile in detail." That night, I went home and sat down with the chart with a beer and some pasta. I found out there were 13 cells in that wing with 10 patients at present.
Looks like wine,
6 of them were male and 4 of them female.
Beer comes in a bottle.
Each one is accused of committing violent crimes in their feat of mental instability. For example, the guy in cell number 1 is a 35-year-old man who crashed into a birthday party going to his neighbor's house and tried to burn the house down.
Wow.
A woman in cell number 7
to the people
strangled her 85-year-old mother in her sleep.
Couldn't be me.
The more I read, the more chills appeared on my skin. Among all of them, the 50-year-old man in cell number 9 was termed as the most violent of all. There was very little information about how he ended up here, but I recalled it was the same cell outside which Jonathan was found unconscious. I won't lie, but that night, I had a terrible dream. I saw I was laying on the floor of the Red Alert wing, and all the patients were laughing like maniacs and pulling my entrails out my cut-open stomach. Anyway,
and you still
after
about to
very
go
little
work
sleep,
there?
I woke up to join my new shift. I drank a steaming cup of
sign
strong
after
coffee
sign
and some
telling
toast
you not
and
to
set
go
out
in.
for work. Needless to say, I was damn nervous.
Hey.
For the first time in the last 3 years, I was going to step inside the Red Alert wing. After passing through 3 iron bar doors, I finally reached in front of the long corridor decked up with cells on my left. I could hear screams and laughs at the same time.
That
Honestly,
is an evil
my heart beat
laugh.
faster as I realized whatever I have heard about this place so far.
I need to take
is
notes
true.
from that person.
It was worse than hell.
The
Violent patients jumped and grabbed the cell bars as long as they saw a new guy trolling in the corridor with a mop. They screamed and cursed me with slang that almost made me bleed through my ears. I was sweating like a dog and my hands were
doing
trembling
all that
at
with
the same
words,
time.
buddy. You need to get up out
The
of there.
bars were the only thing that was keeping me separate from these hellhounds. One by one, I crossed each cell, and their screams started to settle in. I started adjusting to the shift on my own. I could see the security guy near the gate. He said, "Don't worry, you will get used to it. Think of them as mad pigs chained up in barns."
Ain't no way.
I didn't like the way he addressed
pay
these
me
people,
enough money.
even though they were acting like lunatics.
Ain't no
Suddenly,
way.
the woman in cell
No
7
way.
spat on the ground looking at the security guy and said, "Your mother was a pig, and you are her little piglet." The guy got ferocious, and without giving her any warning, jumped to her cell and hit her fingers grasping the bars with his baton.
Damn.
She screamed in pain, and I saw blood bursting out from her broken nails. She backed out immediately and started screaming like a lunatic and cursing the guy from her
Get
cell.
about to tear his
He laughed in
ass
cruel
up.
joy. "Hey, what are you doing? These are people, man. You can't be physical like this." "Shut up. Do your job. You're here to clean this shit and out after you're done." I felt very insulted by his words. I didn't stress this matter anymore, but decided to lodge complaints against him later. After work, I went to the medical staff and told them about his behavior. I got shocked by their lack of response. Some of them even said the guy did what he had to do. The people of the Red Alert wing deserved it. I can't say if they're right, but one thing I surely believe is we are
That is
no
like
one
the
to decide who
ultimate
deserves
question.
what. These people are already living in hell, and some of them had it coming too, but being physical with them is straight cut abuse. But there wasn't much I could do. After all, I was just a cleaning guy. When I returned home, something weird stuck in my mind. All this time, I didn't think about it, but now it came to me. I remembered how every patient came at me and screamed, but only the cell 9 patient didn't. Cell 9 was dark.
That was the
It seemed like
old white guy,
whoever
right?
was inside covered the small hole with a piece of cloth to block the minimal sunlight that came during the daylight. And whoever was inside hid in that darkness.
The next day, when I went to work, I made up my mind to take a good look at cell 9. Today as well, I found the cell completely dark. The lights don't hit until it's 5 p.m. I looked to figure out if someone is sitting inside that cell with the cover of the window tilted down slightly and a sunbeam entered the cell. In that little light, I could see a pair of bloodshot eyes staring directly at me. The patient inside cell 9 was watching me this entire time and I had no idea. I can't tell you how creeped out I felt at that moment. I took steps back and that man slowly crawled out from the darkness and sat near the cell bars. I finally saw him. That 50-year-old most violent patient of the Red Wing. He was the scariest looking old man I have ever come across in my entire life. He smiled at me without breaking eye contact and said, "You pity us?" I started mopping the floor and replied, "I think what the guard did was wrong." "And what about what that woman did? Don't tell me you haven't read the charts before coming here." "That's not for me to decide what she deserves." "Well then, who decides that?" I didn't say anything. Finished my work quietly that day. I don't exactly remember the time, but I woke up hearing my phone ring. It was one of my colleagues. He worked the night shifts.
Them villains.
As I answered, I heard him panting in fear.
That sit there and they try to be justifiable and reasonable.
He's dead.
Them
What?
really are the craziest.
The security guy in the Red Alert wing. He was doing a double shift today. I went to offer him coffee and saw a trail of blood on the entire corridor. He's dead, and he's gone. Mike, I'm not getting what you're trying to say.
Voice?
Oh my
Didn't
God.
even sound like him.
What will we do now? Before I could ask him more, the phone got
Magnificent.
Out of panic, I drove down to the asylum and met with horrible news. Cop cars were flooding outside the gate. A group of cops were searching the asylum and interrogating the night workers. It came to know the 50-year-old man of cell 9 was cutting the bars of the window every night. Now I realized why he covered it during the day. No one knows how he got hold of the knife and made this impossible escape a success.
Wow.
But before leaving the facility, he stood in front of his cell bar and called out to that security guy. As soon as he came to hit the man slashed his throat and clapped in joy as the security guard bled to death in front of his eyes. He is free again, hiding somewhere, or planning something even more sinister these times.
He's gonna be at your house.
I wish I could know more about him and be able to stop him, but I don't think he will ever come after me too. Will he?
He fixed this. This kind of driving me crazy. That one was good. I ain't gonna lie to you. That one I like that one. Story, like I said, the people like that old man that sit up and they're like evil, right? They're murderous, they're whatever, right? And they sit and they try to be like philosophical. They try to have like this deeper like thinking process, right? Those ones be really the most dangerous ones. So it's no surprise that he did what he did and was able to escape, right? Because those are masterminds ultimately. So I like that. I like that that twist there. Yeah, because they also ask the question of who decides, right? Which is a question that has been being asked for centuries, for a very long time now, of who gets to be the judge, the jury, executioner, like that. Like, so things people do, like people in those situations, horrible, right? But who are we to decide, right? Like, who are we, right? What gives us the power? What gives us that to decide on what to do with them? Obviously, what they did was bad, but like, who are we to decide on like executing them or whatever it may be, right? To pay for that or locking them up for the rest of their life or whatever it may be, right? That's an age-old question. So I like that one like introduced and played into some of those things for that, because it gets you thinking, right? It gets you thinking. But what you guys thought? What you think of those theories, of those questions that was being asked, and things of that nature? As we move to the next video. Oh, our girl, you know it's gonna be good. She in here. She see. What? Oh, that gave me chills already. Were we 10 seconds into the video? What's the writing say? Plays all night and hides all day. The tall man is here. Music every time, bro. I didn't catch that last sentence. Oh man. He will stay and he will stay. Bro, why is this doing this to me? Can we get into the video first? That was intense. Like, that was intense. You see how they do the camera work? Like, that's crazy. You gotta stop playing with me. Get out. Get out this house. Get out this house. Get out this house. Bro. I'm scared. Where's the exit? I see one behind her. Where's the front door? That to the right there? Ever y'all see me doing this, I'm watching a horror film or playing a horror game, I'm terrified. Just know that. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. Get out that house. And that's not there anymore? This is very terrifying for me. You should have gotten out of that house. I just don't understand. It's gonna appear behind you. Why you let it go? You live with that decision. You made that decision. You live with it. Keep holding it. He knows you're in there. We love you, ma'am, but sometimes you just be in here driving me crazy with these decisions you be making. Like, ain't no way I'm in that house still. You seen the... in his shoes, miss. amazing film. It's just at the end there, I was like so upset. I was so upset that it's like nothing could scare me. Otherwise that last moment probably would have gotten me. But once again, camera work's always wonderful and always magnificent. Sounds are always spot on every single time. Every time she's in one of these, it's always top tier. So we already figured it was going to be a good one. But the decisions that she makes, is just like so crazy to me. We're in the house, right? We see these shoes. And clearly these are shoes that weren't there before. It ain't like you just moved in this place. You've been here, right? And the shoes like startled you. Like how did these get in here, right? So clearly something's off, right? It's clearly something off. You go and you investigate, as most people would, right? I'm leaving, right? But most people would investigate, right? Investigate, you see this little scribbles on the wall that says that's something about the tall man. Tall man's here, he's here to stay, right? You see that and you ain't seen it before, right? So that's just no red flags ringing for you. You close up your closet door and you act as if they're supposed to be there, right? No, maybe I put them there and I just didn't recognize it. Maybe I scribbled that scribblings on the wall, right? So okay, we carry on about our day. Then you hear footsteps. And you like, oh, okay, right? That catches you, startles you. It startles me too. Startles you. And you turn around and you see these same shoes you saw in the closet with nobody attached to them in the hallway. So my first thought is, how did they get there? If I'm still in this house, my first thought is, how did they get there? Right? You keep looking at them and then they slide backwards. Last I checked, shoes don't move by themselves. Right? And what you do, you walk past 2 exits. You walk past whatever window balcony that was, and you walked past the front door. Instead of exiting that house immediately, you decide to go back into the room where those shoes were at. And what we find, nothing is what we find. You don't see the shoes there, and the scribbles that were on the wall are no longer there. They're gone. Right? So now you're like, oh shit. Which you should have been oh shitting 3 minutes ago. Honestly. But you're like, oh shit, right? So now you look, right? Because you hear the footsteps again. So now you like, okay, let me close this up to where he can't see me, but I can see him. Even though he sees me, right? He peers in, you see what he looks like now. You close the door all the way. He comes up, right? He starts shaking on it, right? You hold it, you let it go after he stops. Like, why? Keep holding it. Like, you in there now, you made your decisions. Like, you gotta hold it. Then we wanna run for the exit. It's too late now. It's too late. Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, I was like, all of these signs that you see, you have to leave. You have to take them. You have to take them. You have to leave. You have to go. But yes, that one was really good. I think I'm gonna make that one the last one of the videos that we watched. The 5 videos that we watched for this video. But yes, that was a good one. Really good one. I really really enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought, as always, of this one and any of the other ones. As always, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, because I did. I enjoyed it. Not too heavy on the jump scares. I don't even know if I got jump scared at all. I think there was one slight one with the glass breaking in one of the animated horror ones, but I don't really think I got jump scared with it in this or during this. But it was heavy on the ambiance and the ominous sounds and stuff like that, so it was playing on that. So I still got some chills here and there, which that did a really good job to be able to do that. So still very really good horror short films this week. So I hope that you guys enjoyed them. As always, I greatly appreciate the love and support you guys show the videos on a regular basis. If you're liking the videos, please make sure you're continuing to spam that like button, smash that sub button so you can become a part of the community. Hit that bell notification off to the side so you can be alerted whenever I go live and upload another video. As always, if there's any content you would like to see created here on the channel, drop that in the comment section, and especially for this series. Like I said, thank you, Mr. Zoms, for being our first person to submit. They submitted multiple videos. So once I get approval for those, if I get approval for those, I'm not sure if the people will respond back, but I'm gonna try. Once I get approval for them, then we'll see those on the series as well. Also, since we watched Death Records 3 out of order, because I didn't know there was 3 parts to it, we gotta finish those. So let me know if you guys want to see those as well. But it's until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day.